And lastly, certain conditions such as HIV, AIDS, and different forms of hepatitis. HIV is technically a virus that can spread through things like sexual contact. It can also be spread through illicit injection of drugs, so sharing needles. It can also be spread through contact of blood. And HIV technically plays a big role in destruction of our blood cells that technically play a role in helping our body fight certain diseases. Now, HIV is not necessarily classified as autoimmune until it does turn into AIDS. Different forms of hepatitis. Now, technically, the two forms of hepatitis that we are concerned about is our hepatitis B and our hepatitis C. So with hepatitis B, it is very highly, infective in regards to the rate. It can be transmitted through very small amounts of blood, and it can survive in dried blood for longer periods of time. So we call this the incubation period. Hepatitis C is less contagious than hepatitis B, but it's more serious in regards to it being common for chronic liver inflammation. Okay, so with this, the inflammation can develop into an infection, and with that, that person can become technically the carrier to the virus throughout life. With the different lengths of incubation, this is something you will learn in class. Okay, now both of these forms of hepatitis, or any form of HIV or AIDS, can be transmitted through what we call direct contact, or even possible indirect contact as well for some of these. So even though the body is compromised, this also does pose a risk for ourselves, okay, in regards to transmission. The transmission rate, can be quite low, if infection control measures are adhered to properly, but it is still a risk that we have to consider, okay? So in regards to any of these conditions, I would advise treating clients with HIV, AIDS, and hepatitis for your own safety and also the safety of your client in regards to the possible risk and outcome that could have adverse effects in regards to their overall health, and in regards to the healing rate being slow, which would also then lead to the infection rate being quite high. So guys, that technically concludes our generic list of contraindications. As mentioned, depending on what level of piercing you are taking, there may be some added contraindications to your list within your training.